Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. Recently, we were in Portland for the Cannabis Science Conference, where we got to interview some folks. So without further ado,
we're expecting this one row here to just fill all of these plants with seed, and it'll be like high CBD feminized.
Well, so let me paint an articulate word picture here real quick, and then we're going to go to work.
Okay.
So I'm standing in a nursery building right now, surrounded by hemp, and it's beautiful hemp. And then in this case, I have a couple of, how should we say, they're nice, but they're also smart. So I have nice, smart people with me. Your name for the record, sir?
Bryce.
Right, and you?
Matthew.
All right, so now, first we were just talking a little bit about reversing, or essentially, making some males out of some females?
Yeah, doing a sexual reversal on these females. These are all clones. We knew that they were females going in, and we chose them because they had some nice characteristics.
Okay.
And so starting just about a week before flower began, we sprayed them twice a week with a silver thiosulfate solution.
So I'm seeing some very dense formations of, are those seed?
Those are pollen sacs.
Pollen sacs, got it, okay. And then, those look fat.
They're fat, and they're getting ready to pop.
Yeah, just a couple here are starting to open now, and yeah, the rest of them are
You can see how the bud structure sort of mimics a cannabis flower instead of your typical male expression with a long, extended, they're like nice, tight, dense buds.
And then is this the first time you've practiced that technique?
Yeah, in the past we've used colloidal silver, and that works to some degree, but much less flower production than this. So.
Interesting. And then, I guess, so what would be your long-term goal with this experiment? What's the outcome that you're after?
Well, I want to fill this room with feminized high CBD hemp seed. We're looking to get 50 to 75 pounds of seed out of this greenhouse.
I dig it a lot. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the nature of the hemp that's in here. So talk to me about the genetics. What are we looking at?
Well, this is a cross of Pennywise mixed with a polyhybrid that included cherry wine, auto tube, and harlequin.
Okay, all right.
Oh yeah, Charlotte's Web was also one of the father.
So, and then from an outcome perspective, what do you anticipate with the genetics? I mean, is this a unique thing you're going to sell? Does it have
Yeah, we've planted about 400 seeds of that this year, and we've selected the premium phenotypes, and that's what we're going to generate our seed from.
Sure. Okay, so now some of these plants are full on, 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet tall if you include the soil and such. So where are these at with regards to, like here in the nursery or inside the greenhouse building? Is that typical, or where do we go with that?
We had some a nice stretch of hot weather here, and we've been keeping them pretty moist, so they've been blooming. We put them in at about a foot tall, and I think for the most part they're done with a stretch. So I think they're topping out here at around 6 or 7 feet.
I like it. I mean, there's something about looking up at the plant, right?
So these are in 25-gallon pots.
Yeah.
The 10-gallon pots, they're maxing out at around 4 or 5 feet.
Sure, right. It's capping the growth based on the total nutrient load, right?
Big pot plant.
I like that. I like that one. All right, well, so now here in the nursery, working on the hemp side. So that sounds to me like something that would be interesting if I'm in the nursery biz, right? I probably want to play with hemp, or do I, or don't I? I mean, what's it take to play with hemp in the nursery biz?
Oh, I think it seems like a really good choice. If you're in the nursery business, you're a large property owner in some place where the conditions are good for growing. To mess around with a fast-growing annual for something that can be 20 feet tall in a few months,
right?
You can get a return on your investment in a matter of months instead of 5 or 7 years. It's worth looking at. It's not going to be for everybody, certainly, but maybe even in some of these emerging markets to offer clones and seedlings to your customers rather than grow it yourself, to just offer it as just another nursery product seems like it might be a good way to go.
Interesting.
And if you can make that infrastructure with hemp, if we look at federal legalization, then to be able to roll out the desired standard THC cannabis genetics to your same customers is not an impossible dream.
Right. And then I guess last big note is in terms of dreaming. I mean, did you ever think it'd be like this? I mean,
this exceeds all of my expectations by such a large order of magnitude. I mean, October of last year, I didn't know what I was going to be doing, right? I thought that perhaps I'd have to go back and work in a laboratory or, trim weed at somebody else's farm. And,
Right.
And here we are getting to push our own genetics forward.
It's not even a year later. 10 months, 10 and a half months, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I really couldn't have expected it. I mean, kind of tried to put it together, but never thinking it was going to be as big as it got, though.
I dig it. Well, okay, so you guys are so gracious with your time and helping me do the learning and all of that stuff. I guess let's go with this. So it is Friday. It's Friday in a nursery in a hemp space. Does that mean that you take the day off and relax, or are you working today? What's your deal?
Oh, it's kind of weather related. So today we see some rain coming in on the horizon.
Okay.
So we're going to get out there and get some lactobacillus on the crops in the field so that we can hopefully stave off any botrytis.
Sure. Lactobacillus for the win.
Yeah.
I dig it.
We also got some seeds to harvest in another field, so I want to get those down too before the rains hit. So.
Jeez, I'm stopping the wheel of progress. All right. So it is Dan with the Talking Hedge, your cannabis business podcast. Fellas, I appreciate the brain cycles. I appreciate getting a chance to be one with the plants this morning. How nice.
It's always a pleasure to see you, Dan.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming by.
I love you guys. All right, now we got lucky today. All right, so we're on the floor. We're hanging out with some new old friends. Your name for the record, sir?
Raymond.
All right, and you are?
Jeff.
All right, now wait a minute. We hung out yesterday. Yesterday you guys were nice and you looked pretty smart, but today you look smarter. So now how does that happen? What happened?
I was surrounded by a whole bunch of technology.
Right. Technology and smart people.
And smart people that explained the technology
Yeah,
to me.
yeah, right.
Yeah, so it was good.
So this show, now have you guys ever done this show? I forgot.
No.
Okay, so this is your first time at this show.
This is my first time.
And are you going to come back?
Definitely.
I like that, okay. And then let's go over here and talk to him for a minute. Okay, so you've been here, you've been learning, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say is one or two things you learned? What'd you learn?
That I'm in way over my head.
Right? It's a
Yeah.
deep thing. It's one of the things that's interesting in small biz, right, is there's a deep end of the pool, but then you don't realize it's not 12 feet, it's, 77 feet or something, right? And you're like, oh my God, the deep end of the pool is deep, homie.
Yeah, but also at the same time, you learn that even though it's a lot,
Yep.
I mean, there's so much knowledge out there. Everything's changing every day that we're still way ahead of most other people that are just starting out.
Two axioms, right? First, if it was easy, everybody would do it,
Right.
right? And the second thing is this: look, you haven't met me, right? You don't know me. I'm gonna go bite my piece and take my chunk, right?
Exactly.
So I like that. So okay, so now yourself, would you come back to this show? Would you come back?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I dig it.
I came back 2 days in a row.
Right. Yeah, right.
I want some more.
Right. I like that. All right. So, okay, let's do this. So then, what's the rest of the day hold for you guys? Just here on the show floor? You're going to go do some educational tracks? What's the rest of the day hold?
There's a pediatric one at 1:30 I want to check out.
Okay.
We'll hit the rest of the floor, but I mean, it's just absorption at this point. You just got to absorb.
Right.
Yeah.
More. Okay. It's like being a tea bag, right? I got to steep.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. And what about for you? What are you going to do with the rest of your day?
I'm going to pass out all these cards I got.
I like it. I need one of your cards. All right.
And with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't.